To build Marvel's most explosive, superpowered movie in a decade, they didn't hire action directors. They actually hired the people who wrote the most anxiety-inducing sandwich shop on television. Welcome to this deep dive.
Yeah, it's quite the pivot, right?
Oh, absolutely. So today, for you listening at home, we're taking a stack of leaked production notes, script rumors, and, well, classic comic lore to uncover the creative blueprint for Marvel Studios' upcoming 2028 X-Men film. Our mission here, exploring how the legendary Chris Claremont comic era is going to shape the movie's narrative structure and, introduce a terrifying new class of villains.
Right, and to understand that, we really need to set the stage by looking at this deeply unconventional writing team. We're talking about Lee Sung Jin and Joanna Calo.
Yeah, from TV.
Exactly. I mean, you probably know their work from the intensely character-driven shows like Beef and the Bear.
Okay, let's unpack this, because on the surface, making an epic superhero movie with the writers of The Bear sounds like completely wild.
It totally does.
I mean, it's like taking the claustrophobic, high-stress kitchen arguments of The Bear and dropping them straight into the danger room. But I have to ask, how do these tiny, deeply personal squabbles actually scale up to a massive blockbuster?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the Claremont era, which, defined the X-Men from 1975 to 1991, it was never built on rigid, self-contained action arcs.
Wait, really? I always just pictured the big battles.
Right. But it actually functioned essentially as a sprawling, ongoing soap opera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the genius of bringing in writers who map out highly pressurized human connections is that they understand a crucial mechanism. Epic ideological battles only work when they're driven by personal rifts.
Okay, so like mutants versus humans or peace versus war, those concepts basically fall flat if you just don't care about the people arguing over them.
Exactly. So instead of relying on explosions to create the tension, the interpersonal drama is the explosive element. The action just, serves the character fractures.
It makes a lot of sense.
And if they are focusing on that intense, claustrophobic human drama, you can't just throw a giant alien warlord into the mix.
Right, yeah.
The antagonists have to put pressure on those specific human fractures. They have to represent systemic societal fears that trap the characters together.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because previous films definitely got, kind of bored of the mutant versus mutant conflict after a while.
They really did.
But instead of jumping straight to colorful comic villains, doesn't it make more sense to ground the first chapter in the terrifying reality of government-backed human antagonists? I mean, I get that they want grounded drama, but this is a Marvel movie. If the villains are just politicians in suits passing legislation, aren't audiences going to fall asleep waiting for a laser beam?
Well, not when those politicians have the full power of the state behind them. The villain archetypes we're looking at for this first wave aren't monsters hiding under the bed. I mean, they are the people who write the laws.
Oh, that is chilling.
Yeah, the sources point to classic Claremont-era figures.
Right.
Reverend William Stryker, who is envisioned with this, Billy Graham-inspired televangelist angle, and along with him, ruthless bureaucrats like Bolivar Trask and Henry Peter Gyrich.
Okay, but how do bureaucrats actually fight superheroes? Like, Gyrich isn't throwing punches in the street.
No, Trask and Gyrich fight the X-Men in committee hearings to secure defense funding.
Oh, wow.
They control the narrative, right? They manipulate public fear to make mutant existence illegal before a single punch is even thrown.
Which is terrifying because it weaponizes a very recognizable reality of systemic oppression. I mean, they don't need super strength, they just need a signature on a bill.
Exactly. They corner the heroes legally and socially, pushing that pressure cooker to the breaking point. And then, comes this physical threat.
Wait, what physical threat?
Well, what do those men in suits build with all that government funding?
Oh, don't tell me.
Yep. Terrifying, classic, live-action sentinels. Giant, unfeeling robots engineered by the military-industrial complex to hunt down its own citizens.
Wow. So what does this all mean for you? It means a 2028 X-Men film that trades cosmic battles for intense interpersonal drama and systemic political oppression.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster built entirely on the foundation of deeply human flaws and government paranoia. Which, by the way, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Marvel is already subtly shifting this architecture.
Right. The sources noted that mutant DNA is already appearing in other projects.
Exactly. A corrupt political establishment is taking shape right now, with characters like Val manipulating the board in shows like Daredevil Born Again.
Which leaves you with this final thought. If Marvel is already planting the seeds of this ruthless military-industrial complex in the gritty corners of their universe, Well, how long until those terrifying sentinels turn their sights on the street-level heroes you already know?